Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hi, I'm Angel. I just create all kinds of stuff on here: lifestyle, travel, my time with God. So kind of do it all. So today, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to do a video on the pros and cons of doing EF Ultimate Break. Is it worth it? Should you do it? Have you been going back and forth? I was the same way. So hopefully this video helps you decide if you would like to take a trip with EF. Okay, so I did a trip with EF back in August of 2024. Don't come for me because I know it's 2025. My goal for 2025 is to be more consistent. I got you guys. But I went with EF in August of 2024 into September. So I did an 11-day trip. I went to 3 cities in 3 different countries. I went to London, went to Paris, and I went to Barcelona. And so I wanted to do a video today on the pros and cons of the trip, what I liked the most about the trip, like extra costs, and just my tips for just travel with EF in general. So if you see me look down, it's because I had to write my little notes for you guys. But the first one we're going to start with is the pros. Let's start with the good stuff because there were lots of them. I really enjoyed the trip. I had a great time. I met so many people. And so let's just get into what was so good about the trip. So pros. Number 1, it was pre-planned. Okay, pre-planned. That's what I love. I am type A when it comes to travel. Like, if you know me, you know, like, I like to plan what we're gonna do as soon as we get there. I plan my outfits for the day, all the things. I like to plan. But I love that EF had everything planned for me because I did travel solo on the trip. So I was like, I don't know if I want to travel to Europe, 3 different countries, 3 different cities by myself and have to plan everything. I was just nervous. And I have traveled internationally by myself, but I didn't want to bounce around to that many places by myself. It's just, you never know, just being a girl out here by yourself, it will scare you at times. So I did love that everything was pre-planned from the flight, when you got there to when you left, like everything was planned. So I definitely love that about EF. Number 2, your flight and all your accommodations were taken care of. So we did an overnight flight. Well, I'm saying we. I took an overnight flight. All of our flights were overnight flights. So that was kind of part of our trip. So 2 of the days were travel days. So really it was 9 days in Europe pretty much. So your flights were taken care of if you opted for that. Some people took their own flights because they were going to go to Europe and then go to other places after that. I had them take care of all my flights because I didn't want to mess with all that. And all your accommodations were taken care of. So while I was there, EF has different like packages. I picked the Essential because it was the cheapest, which I'll get on that later. But we stayed in 2 hostels and then a hotel. So we had a hostel in London, a hotel in Paris, and then we had a hostel in Barcelona. But all that was taken care of for us, and I really love that because it'd be hard trying to fly somewhere, book your hotel, go to a whole nother city, country, find your accommodations there, and then another place. You know, it was too much for me. So I was like, I'm gonna just let y'all handle that, and I'm just gonna show up. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I did. I just showed up. Okay, so I did love that they took care of all of that. Pro number 3 is that breakfast was included every single day. Each of our hotels/hostels had free breakfast, and we also had 2 dinners. I think we ended up having 3 dinners actually, and a free lunch. So you have a welcome dinner, and then you have a farewell dinner when you leave. And then something happened to one of our dinners when we were in Barcelona, so we ended up getting a free one there as well. So that was cool. And then our tour guide one day she got us like some, what is it, baguettes and like cheese and stuff like that because we we're kind of behind time waiting to go to see the Eiffel Tower. So she did that for us, which was really sweet because she didn't have to do that. And so, yeah, I did love that a lot of our meals were free because y'all know food can get pricey. You know, having to pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for 9 days, that it does add up. So it was nice that breakfast was free every day, and we had a few free meals included in the trip. Okay, number 4, your tour guide, y'all. We had the best tour guide, Gabby. If you see this, you are amazing. I will recommend her to anybody. She was on top of it. If we needed her, she was there. She had so much for us to do, like during our on the EF tours, you have 3 days in each of your cities, and she has so many options for us to do while we were in each city. Sometimes she tagged along during those activities as well, and so she was just, again, she was so amazing. She had done so many tours anyway, so she was very familiar with each city that we were in and each country. So yes, I think all the EF tour guides are good though anyway. I watched videos about EF before going to, and everyone just raved about how good the tour directors were, and ours, she was great, like so amazing. So yeah, you have a tour guide with you the whole time, especially if you're a solo traveler. You will not be by yourself. Like literally, you have somebody with you the entire time. And that really kind of goes into pro number 5. Number 5 is you are never alone. Never alone. You really aren't. So again, like I mentioned earlier, I went as a solo traveler. I was like, you know what? Paris is on my list. Like that was my dream place to go. I was like, I need to go to Paris. And I was like, you know, people had kind of burned me in the past of going when I wanted to go and years previously. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna take the trip, go, because if I keep waiting on other people, I'm never gonna go. And that's just what I came to. And so I was like, I'm doing it. And again, y'all, I made so many friends, like so many friends on the trip. When I landed to when I left, it didn't feel like I came on that trip alone. Like for real, it's like I came with those people. And we had about 22 girls in our tour group, y'all, hands down the best group of girls ever. Like we all got along so well. Like nobody was like, oh, we're better than you, all this stuff. Like no bickering. Like we all really just got along. We were so cool with each other, and so it was just, it made a good trip. Like it made a great trip. So again, if you have a fear like you're gonna be by yourself and all this stuff, trust me, you will never be alone. Make friends. I'm shy, I'm very introverted, but just go talk to people, insert yourself to conversations, and again, I'm telling you, you will make friends, and again, you will plan to go do things with people. And yeah, like I had booked a trip to Disneyland, just booked it by myself, and I ended up going with another girl. Then we ended up meeting some other people from our tour there as well. So again, never alone the entire time. So yeah, that's what I really loved about the trip. Pro number 6, you get to see so much in so little time, and that could possibly be a con to some people, but for me, I loved it because you're spending all your money to get there anyway, so you might as well see all that you can see, right? So I was like, although it was jam-packed, I was a little tired. I ain't gonna lie, I was tired. But I was so glad I got to see so much in so little time, because I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna come back to Europe again. You know, you just don't know. So if you're already there, just go see all that you can see. But yeah, so those were my pros for the trip. Again, everything pre-planned, flight and accommodations taken care of, breakfast included, your dinner, some of them included, tour guides amazing, you're never alone, and just lots to see in so little time. Okay, so we talked about the pros. Let's move on to the cons, because everybody knows there's cons to every trip. The cons weren't bad, okay? The cons aren't bad, but they were little things that I was like, you know, maybe next time, you know, it could just be better or different. So pro number 1 is time. And it does kind of go back to one of the pros of just lots to see in so little time, but time still was an issue. Again, you're in each city 2.5 days. That is not a lot of time to see all that you want to see. And so like even when we went to Paris, I was there during the Olympics. So well, really the Paralympics. The Olympics are over, but the Paralympics were going on. So everything was still like blocked off, and like some of the gardens were blocked off. And so it was just hard to see everything that I wanted to see in so little time. Because again, all these cities are massive. London, massive. Paris, massive. Barcelona, massive. You just can't see everything unless you like want to spend a week there, which, you know, again, if you really want to see Paris, I would not recommend doing this particular tour. Just book the 7-day Paris tour, and I'm pretty sure they have that on there too. But again, time was a big thing because it was just, you're moving fast. You want to see all that you can see. So that was kind of the con number one. Con number two was fast paced. Everything was fast paced. We were always go, go, go every day. Again, everything was pre-planned, but once I got to Barcelona, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was really tired. Like, I was like, whew, like we've been going and going. I feel like I was going to bed late every night and then waking up early because our day would always start at something at 8 o'clock. So which means if you're sharing a room with so many people, you gotta wake up early, get ready, then meet at the places. So I would say it being very fast paced, if that's not your thing, like if you want a more relaxing trip, don't pick this one. Like if you want to just sit at the beach or something, pick one of those tours, okay? Because they have plenty of those. But we were moving, always on our feet, things like that. So again, very, very fast paced. Okay, con number three was the amount of cities I went to in so little time. Like I said, I was super tired when I got to Barcelona. Honestly, all of us were tired when we got to Barcelona. You could see in all of our faces. Again, we had been in London, we had been in Paris, we had been up all night, up super early in the morning. It was just a lot. So I think for myself personally, you don't have to do this. I would pick either one or two cities to visit on a trip, because you don't realize how tired you're gonna be until you start doing all that moving and your day is just jam-packed and you don't have a second to just breathe, and then you try to call family, letting them know you okay, but the time is different because they 7 hours ahead of us there. So things like that, once I got to that third city, I was like, I am so exhausted. I was like, but I'm gonna make the most of it because for one, I paid for this, okay, and I'm gonna get my money's worth. But again, that was just a con for me. Again, if you like that stuff and you can just keep going, you do that 3 city. You can do the whole 30-day trip because they got that too. I think it's 35 days in Europe or something. Do that one too. It was not for me. It was not for me. And again, next time I do this, I'll either do a week in just 1 city or maybe 2 cities, and that's it. Con number 4, roommates and space. This one was a big one for me because I live by myself. It's just me and my dog. It's just us, okay? So I'm not used to people being all in my space and not being able to use the bathroom and shower and sink when I want to use them, okay? So in London, again, we stayed in a hostel. There were 6 of us in a room. Y'all probably like, girl, what? 6? But anyway, it wasn't that bad. We were really supposed to be 5 of us in that room, but it ended up being 6. But it's okay. We all kind of had our own schedule though, and some of our roommates, they like to go out at night and stuff. So once they got out for the night, we'd hop in the shower and stuff, and then we'd let them take their showers and stuff in the morning because we've already gotten ourselves ready the night before. So things like that, we made it work. I think what saved us in London with so many people in a room was there were 2 sinks and a mirror. There was 2, so that really helped us so much. Y'all don't realize how much an extra sink and a mirror will do, how much it helps you, but it helps so much having just that extra space for us. So again, it worked out, and that was probably my favorite hostel though out of Paris and Barcelona. And I like our beds, you can move this little curtain, you kind of had your own little space, things like that. And so I don't know, it worked for us. And then again, although it was 6 of us in the room, it worked and we all got along really well. So I think that's what helped as well. And yeah, and just space was a big deal, especially in Paris. It was a little hard. As you know, Paris, even their hotels and stuff, they're small, their rooms are small. So in Paris, there was only 3 of us in a room, but I swear I felt more cramped in Paris than I did in London, and I shared a room with 6 girls. It was crazy. I did like the bathroom better in Paris. It was real nice, and I liked that. But again, this space was really difficult in Paris and Barcelona. Barcelona, we had another hostel. There were 4 of us in a room. It was just so tiny. Like, it was just so small, and it was just hard to move around the room. And so, yeah, that was like the major con, was just like the amount of people in the space. And that con number 5, which would be essential versus plus. So EF has like an essential package and then a plus package. Plus costs a little bit more, but you get a little bit more for your money. You only share a room with one other person, and I think all their accommodations are hotels. If I'm wrong, if you've taken an EF, let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they're all hotels and there's only one person in your room. Whereas if you do the essential package like I did, because it was cheaper, because you're not be having to ball on a budget, okay? That one is the one where you could possibly end up with like 10 people in a room. I'm glad that didn't happen to us, but you could, and you know, you stay in mainly hostels, and just gonna be more people in your room. But that was the only thing. Again, I got along with all my roommates fine. It was just the last 2 cities were just a little cramped. Granted, we weren't in our rooms a lot, but when we were in our rooms, like getting ready in the morning and getting ready at night, that was kind of difficult in like Paris and Barcelona. So let's see, con number 6, last con, would be adjusting. So like in London, I was finally figuring out like how to use the tube, because that's what they call there, is a tube, not the train station. Like I was figuring out like how to get from place to place, like without my tour guide. And then once I figured it out, once you figure out the currency and all this stuff, like it's time to go to another city. And I'm like, oh man, like I was really getting used to this. So then we went from London, then we're in Paris. So Paris, they speak mainly French. Their train system's different, the roads and stuff are different, so now I have to adjust to that. And then once I figured it out finally, because I started to figure out Paris, it was time to go to Barcelona. And I was like, gosh, and in Barcelona is a whole different thing, most of them speak Spanish, and so that was hard, like readjusting every time we moved. Sometimes I'd end up speaking French in Barcelona. I'm like, I'm sorry, I was just in Paris, now I have to say hola, things like that. That was really hard to adjust to. That's why, again, I probably recommend only 1 or 2 cities next time I go. But yeah, those were just my cons of the trip. Really just time, fast paced, the amount of cities I went to, roommates and space, essential versus plus, and then adjusting to a new place in a short period of time. Okay, so let's move on to the good stuff. What were some of my favorite things while I was there? Okay, so number 1, don't laugh at me because I'm such a nerd. I really love the history of each city. I love Europe because Europe is just so much older than America, and so there's just like the architect is beautiful, the history, like things that happened, how they had to rebuild, and like why some places like older than others. Like I really love that stuff. Like I love to learn about that stuff, but I've always been like that. Even in school, I loved history, so that was one of my favorite things about the trip. If you're not into that, then you're not gonna really enjoy those walking tours that you do, because it's all about the history of each city. But I really did enjoy that. Number 2, the Palace of Versailles was probably one of my favorite places. It was so beautiful. Like I saw like other vloggers and stuff, like, vlog their experience there, and the videos don't do that place justice, okay? It really doesn't. We pulled up and I said, oh my gosh, like this place is beautiful. The garden was beautiful, inside beautiful. Like I really enjoyed it, and my outfit was pretty cute while I was there too. But I really enjoy the Palace of Versailles. So if you have a chance to do this tour, make sure you pick that excursion. It was one of the ones, it was an extra cost, but worth the price because it was absolutely beautiful, and I'm so glad that I went. Number 3, London Tea. I really did enjoy that. It was fun. We went to the London Eye first, and then we did a London Tea. So it was like a riverboat activity, excursion, and so it was kind of just like tea time on a boat, and they gave you like all these sandwiches and pastries and tea. And y'all, the tea in London, it is so much better. Maybe I just ain't been drinking the right tea in the States, but that tea in London is something about it. was absolutely delicious. Okay, like everywhere we went, some of my friends that I made on the trip, we went and did breakfast at Tiffany's, and that tea, delicious. Also breakfast activities, oh my gosh, 10 out of 10 will recommend. Again, was it pricey? Yes, but we were there for the ambiance. Okay, it was, we were there for the experience. So yeah, definitely the London tea was probably one of my favorites. I didn't really care for all them sandwiches, but if you know me, you know that I'm super picky, and so that's why I didn't like all those. But they had some little biscuit with some whipped butter thing. Oh my gosh, I never tried anything like it, with this strawberry jelly. I had to take the jelly home with me. It came in a little thing. I said, I gotta take the rest of this home because this is delicious. But yeah, that was my next favorite thing. My next favorite thing was Disneyland Paris. I did go to Disneyland Paris. For those who don't know, my bucket list is to go to every Disneyland / Disney World in the world. I've only been to 2 so far. I've been to Disneyland in California, and then now I've been to Disneyland in Paris. And I'm like, y'all probably like, you ain't even been to Disney World? No, I haven't. It's on the list. I will get there eventually. But yeah, so Disneyland Paris, it was amazing. Now, I had a little short story time. My ticket was not working to get in, and my internet wasn't working for some reason, and it was a struggle, and it started raining. So I'm getting soaking wet because the forecast did not say it was going to rain, so I didn't pack any jacket or anything. So I was getting wet, trying to load my ticket, and then finally the lady was like, oh, just log onto our Wi-Fi. Why didn't you tell me that to start with, lady? I could have avoided getting wet. So I log onto the Wi-Fi, get my ticket, we get in, you know, buy our poncho and everything because it's pouring down rain outside, which was fine. We was gonna make the most of it, but you know, I trusted God on that trip, okay? I was like, this rain is not gonna ruin my Disneyland experience. And we went on this ride, and I told the girl I had went with, I was like, listen, once we get out of here, I was like, the rain will be stopped. And she was like, you really think so? I said, yes. I said, I trust the Lord. I said, I'm gonna pray about it. I said, the rain gonna stop. We're gonna enjoy the rest of our time here at Disneyland. And guess what, y'all? As soon as we came out from that ride that we was on, because we had to wait inside a little bit, so you didn't know if it was raining or not. We came out and it was sunshine. It was beautiful. And we got to enjoy it the rest of our day. It did start to sprinkle a little bit, but we were leaving. So the Lord, He hears your prayers. He hears them. But yeah, it was so amazing. It was so magical, and I loved it. And I definitely could go back because I had so much fun. Okay, guys, my final favorite thing about the trip is I did not spend as much money as I thought. I think my first 2 days in London, I swear I spent maybe $10. Y'all probably were like, girl, you lying. No, for real. I spent like $10 because everything was like free when I got there. And I was just like, okay, I ain't spent no money. Now my free day there, I did spend a little bit more money because I had to go do a little shopping and stuff like that. But I really, I had a budget from when I went, and I didn't get anywhere near that budget. And I was like, okay, we can put that back in our savings account or something, you know? So yeah, those were my favorite things about the trip. Okay, next thing about EF would be extra costs. You know, I told you this is paid for, this is paid for, but you're like, girl, but what am I gonna have to pay for? I need to know. If you like me, you gotta know. You wanna know, what am I coming out of my pocket for? So the first thing, of course, if you go to any city, will be your souvenirs. You know, I had to buy myself a t-shirt in every city. Those who know me know I have to buy a t-shirt everywhere I go, because one day I will turn them all into a blanket. Just kind of memories for me, or maybe for my kids to see one day, something like that. And so you will have to spend money on souvenirs. The next expense would be your lunch and dinner that was not paid for, or if you decide to do breakfast and not do the free breakfast. Like on our free day, you know, we went to breakfast at Tiffany's, so we had to come out of our own pockets for that as well. So again, those are just extra costs as far as food or snacks or drinks if you went out, things like that. You know, if you go out, if you do extra stuff that wasn't included, you're going to have to pay for it. Next one, just your free day activities. So again, I went to, when we were in London, we did the breakfast at Tiffany's. We went shopping at Harrods. I don't think I bought anything at Harrods, because if y'all know Harrods, it's expensive. It was beautiful in there, but it was expensive. So things like that. We went to Soho, you know, had dinner, lunch, things like that. So of course you're gonna have to spend your own money. When I went to Paris, my free day, again, I went to Disneyland, so I had to get souvenirs there, buy lunch there, dinner there, things like that. So that's that. And then in Barcelona, our free day was really, we just did some shopping and like a beach day, so I didn't spend that much money. But again, it's a free day, you don't have anything planned, so you're kind of gonna just spend money just because you want to just get stuff for you and your family and friends like that. The next thing, taxes. You are gonna have to pay taxes on some things, you know, that's just a given. And then Uber, taxis. We took a couple Ubers, especially in Paris, like when we went to Disneyland, because Disneyland was like a 40-minute drive from where we were staying. So again, we had to take an Uber there and back. Honestly, that Uber was a little expensive, but we split it both ways, so it wasn't too bad, but it was still kind of high. And then like we took Ubers in Paris, like if we went somewhere later that night or something like that, we paid for that. And then tips. So when, you know, I mentioned earlier you had your tour guide, and then you had a tour guide for each city, so they do ask that you leave them tips because they really walked you around for 3 hours, you know, and told you about the city. And so that it be a thing just to always have money. That's going to be on my tips later on, but bring cash. If you go to London, you know, they have pounds, and in Paris and Barcelona, they use euros. So have cash, because you do pay your tour guides with cash. That's how they accept their tips. And then you pay your tour guide that you had the whole time in cash as well. They do prefer, that's how you tip them. Like, they don't do like Venmo, Cash App. They don't prefer that. They do just prefer cash. So those are like the extra costs, I would say, for the trip. I don't know if there's any more I can think of right now. If there are, just drop them in the comment box, and so everybody can see what they may be. Okay, and the last thing in this video will be tips for the trips. Tips if you're just going to travel in general, but things that I noticed that I'm gonna do better next time I go would be to bring cash. And I did use the ATM, like a reliable one, when I was in Europe, but I would just recommend just already having cash with you. I wouldn't necessarily say you need that much for like Paris and Barcelona, but London, the prices in London versus the prices in America were like, it was significantly different. So I spent more money using my credit card than I would have used if I would have just paid in pounds when I was in London. In Europe, I mean in Paris and Barcelona, the exchange rate was about the same, so it didn't really matter. But London, I would recommend, if you can use cash there, I would use cash, because everything was way more expensive there. I love London. It actually ended up being my favorite place in London, and Paris was my #1 place. Okay, another tip would be to pack some layers. So again, I went to London, it was the end of August. I think I left like August 24th. And last minute, while I was packing, the Lord said, girl, just bring you a little jean jacket with you. I was like, all right, Lord, you know, the weather says it's gonna be nice, warm, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna listen to you. And when I say I was glad I listened to the Lord, I was glad I listened to the Lord, okay? When he tell you to do something, do it. Because London was a little chilly. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm glad I packed a cardigan and I packed a jean jacket, because I needed those. Because again, it was just a little chilly when I was there. Now Paris and Barcelona, those are warm places. I don't think I needed a jacket or anything the whole time. But London, I think every day I was there, I needed a little cover up, because it was just a little chilly there. So I would pack layers. Again, it was a summer, but it still got chilly. It was like chilly in the morning. It was a little chilly during the day, unless you were like in the sun, then you could like, I took my jacket off a couple times, but once we started walking back in the shade again, I was like, whew, I'm getting a little chilly again. So I had to put it back on. So definitely bring layers, even if it's the summertime, because it may be a little cool in the morning and maybe day and at nighttime. Okay, also, because you are walking so much, I would say bring a portable charger. I had one with me the whole time, because we were out from like morning till like sometimes like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I've been out all day, and you know, your phone be dying sometimes. So I would just recommend bringing you a portable charger just in case. My next tip would be to get an eSIM for your phone. So I know some phone plans, like they charge you like $10 a day. It's a scam, don't do it. What you can do, you can just use I just bought an eSIM and I just got like a global pass, and it came, I think, like 10 gigabytes of like data or something like that, and it was like $20 for like the whole time, and you don't really run out of data or anything like that. So I would recommend just getting an eSIM. So once you, I think I downloaded mine like a little bit before I went, and then once I was at the airport leaving to, I went to Houston first. So when I was in Houston, I like turned on my, when I was about to board, I turned on my eSIM, and I just used that instead and didn't use my data or my cellular plan, because $10 a day, that adds up. $10 a day versus $20 for the whole time. I'm going with the $20. But anyways, yeah, get you an eSIM. The next thing would be to download the WhatsApp. That is what we used the whole time we communicated, was like the whole time on the trip we used WhatsApp. So if we needed to meet somewhere, anything like that, if you need to know where somewhere was, direct message someone, we just use WhatsApp. I told my family to download it as well, and it was just an easy way for me to communicate, because I could FaceTime on there, I could send you texts, and it was just easy. To me anyways, everyone was using it, so I would recommend downloading that, because that's what your group is going to use anyway on the whole trip. Next thing would be to bring you an anti-theft bag. I had like a little crossbody purse, and so I just kept it in front of me the whole time. I don't think any of us ever got pickpocketed, but it is very common in Europe, especially in Paris and Barcelona. I think Barcelona is like one of the worst places for pickpocketers, so I would recommend an anti-theft bag. But again, I came with 2 crossbody bags, and they were fine. They worked well for me, and I didn't have any issues, so I would definitely get one of those. Okay, the next tip for if you want to do really just any trip in general would be to pack snacky snacks, okay? I always need my little snacky snacks. Again, you're walking all day. I mean, we was busy from the sunrise to the sunset, and so I always had little snacky snacks in my bag, because y'all, I don't know if I'm like hypoglycemic or something, but if I don't eat something in my body, like if I don't put something in my body, I start seeing black dots and the room starts spinning. Y'all tell me if that's a sign of hypoglycemia and if I need to go to the doctor or not. But yeah, like I have to eat snacks. I eat snacks all during the day at work, because I would really probably pass out or something. Like I get super dizzy, see dots, and the room starts to spin. So if you're like me, I would pack you some snacks, because sometimes we just didn't even have time to get lunch sometimes, so I just had to eat me a little snack. The next thing is wear some comfy shoes. Now get you some cute ones though, okay? Because you can be cute and comfy at the same time. I wore the same shoes pretty much the whole time. When I was in Europe, I just had like a pair of white and gold tennis shoes, and not really tennis shoes, well, yeah, tennis shoes, and they worked for me the whole time. My feet never hurt, and yeah, it worked for me. In Barcelona, I actually did wear sandals, and I know y'all gonna be like, girl, why you wear sandals and you walking over there? But let me tell you, these sandals, I will live by these sandals. Michael Kors, I don't even think they make these sandals anymore. I've had them for probably 7-8 years. I don't even know. They're cork sandals. And again, I have not found these sandals anymore. I just don't think they make them anymore. But I'm holding on to them babies until I can't walk them no more. Those are the most comfy sandals ever. Your feet never hurt. I went to Vegas one time and walked all day with them things on, and I walked the whole 2.5 days, I think, in Barcelona. I think I had those sandals on too. So I live by those Michael Kors sandals. Michael Kors, if you ever see these, can you bring back your cork sandals? Those, they're cute and they're comfy. So if you can bring those back, bring them back, okay? Y'all help Michael Kors see this. But yeah, definitely wear some very comfy shoes, because again, you're going to be walking a lot. Okay, last and final tip for the trip is to have fun, okay? You done spent all this money. Let's not be miserable. Have fun. Go talk to people. Make memories. Do all that you can, because life is too short not to just live in the moment and enjoy life. Okay guys, so this is the end of this video. I hope it wasn't too long, but again, if you were like me and you thinking about booking a trip, or maybe you already booked the trip and you still want to see what the trip is about, you know, you can watch this video. I hope it was a very helpful video. I just kind of took what I learned from the trip and I just put it all in one video. So again, I hope it helps somebody. I will post my vlogs from each trip, so they will soon follow after this video. So if you guys want to watch like what I did in London, Paris, and Barcelona, be sure to subscribe and go check out those videos as well. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm gonna be more consistent in 2025 because that's my word of the year. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.